In this video, we'll walk through the initial and the system setup on your Pioneer DEH-S1200UB. So I'm on the AM/FM source right now, but the first thing I want to do is, with power to my vehicle, I want to switch the in-dash receiver off. So I'm going to press and hold the source button here for a couple of seconds. That will switch the receiver off. You can see it's completely powered down. You might also have the clock on the display right now, but the system is powered off. That's fine too. It works this way as well. So with the system powered off right now, I'm going to press in on the volume control. And I get two menus here. I get the system menu and I get the initial menu. We're going to start off with the initial menu and press enter here. The first thing we see here is our speaker and pre-out mode. So that's speaker outputs and the RCA outputs. Speaker outputs and RCA outputs can be set up differently from one another. So we'll press enter to get into that menu. And the first thing we see here is rear/subwoofer. This means that the rear speaker outputs, the rear speaker level outputs, are set to full range right now, and the RCA output is set to subwoofer output. So this radio, this in-dash receiver, has one set of RCA outputs, and right now those RCA outputs are set as subwoofer output. The rear speaker outputs are set to full range. This doesn't affect the front speaker outputs at all. If I roll over with the volume control, I can change this so that the rear speaker outputs are set to subwoofer output and the RCA output is also set to subwoofer output. That means, yes, I can operate a small subwoofer from the rear speaker outputs. I can operate a small subwoofer from the rear speaker outputs here, and the RCA output is also set up as a subwoofer output. If I roll over one more time, you can see that the rear speaker outputs are back to full range output and the RCA output is back to full range output. So this is speaker outputs, rear speaker outputs, full range, and RCA output is at full range as well. We'll roll over one more time. This is back to where we started with the rear speaker outputs set to full range and the RCA output set to subwoofer. So choose the setting that works best for you there, and we'll go back. We'll roll over to the next setting, which is our software update. So if there is a software update, a firmware update available from this radio, you can find it from pioneerelectronics.com, download it, and put it onto a USB flash drive. You can insert the USB flash drive in here. Once that software update is on the USB flash drive and inserted in here, press in on the volume control to begin the software update. If you don't do that, you're going to see an error message that comes up here. All right, let's roll over to the next setting, which is the system reset. This is a simple computer system. Occasionally computers get a little goofed up. You have to reset them. If the system starts to act a little weird, go to System Reset and press Enter and confirm yes to reset the system. It will take it back to its factory settings. For right now, I'm going to go back and we'll roll over to the next setting, which is back around to our speaker and pre-out mode. All right, so that's the initial setup menu. Let's go over to the system setup menu here and press enter. First thing we see here is auxiliary on, or if we press in, auxiliary off. If you like to use the auxiliary input right here, you have to have auxiliary on, otherwise it doesn't show up in your source menu. So if you're pressing the source button and you don't see auxiliary, make sure that auxiliary is switched on in that source menu. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is our Android wired connection. If you want to connect selected Android phones through USB for music playback, you can do that. Some Android phones will work better than others, but you want to choose the Android wired connection through USB if you want to play back some music from selected Android phones. We'll roll over to the next setting, which is to automatically prompt the app. If you have Pioneer's ARC app installed on your phone, and it is a phone that operates with the in-dash receiver, it can automatically start the app if you want to. We can choose to switch that on or off right here. For right now, we'll leave it switched on. I'm going to go back and roll over to the next setting, which is USB auto on. Now what this means is if I choose to put some music onto a USB flash drive and insert the flash drive here, that will automatically switch to the USB source and begin to play a track. But sometimes maybe I just want to charge my phone, and I can plug my phone in here and it doesn't switch from the auxiliary source or the CD source or AM/FM source, so it doesn't change the source automatically. If you don't want to change the source automatically, switch USB auto to off. If it's okay with you, just change the source automatically. If that's what you want, switch USB auto to on. We'll roll over to the next setting here, which is clock set. Now there's a full video about setting the clock and displaying the clock using the display button right here. Please be sure to check out the clock setting video. It's the exact same information that you'll see here. And of course, how to display the clock 12 hours or 24 hours. And we'll roll around. Next we see scroll set. So information can scroll across the screen here, and you have a number of different ways that you can view that scrolling. The first one is it can scroll by once. You can also have it continuously loop, and if you don't want to see any of that text on the screen, any moving text on the screen, you can choose to switch it off. For right now, I'm going to choose that one-time loop and have it stop after that. And we'll go back and roll over to our next setting, which is back around to auxiliary. When you're done making your adjustments here, you can hit the arrow back button to escape.